Progress in the tiny workshop continues. It's been a few weeks since I posted a video on the projects in here. I think the last time I left off, I had just started putting some of these cleats on the walls. So a little bit here and there, the weekends, the evenings, we started to get some tools actually up on the walls, and it's coming together really well. For storage of small parts, I picked up a bunch of Harbor Freight bins, and each box has 20 smaller bins in it, and I still have a couple more left over. On the wall right now we've got 55 of these guys, and the reason it's an odd number is because I used a scrap student desk top, which is what that black board behind it is, and the way it lined up I couldn't quite get another one on the side, so we're a little bit odd there, but I've got the extra boxes and the extra little bins, and we'll put those somewhere else. These come with the hangers in the back, so it makes it nice and easy, so it's sort of its own little mini French cleat. And of course the nice thing is you can take this stuff off and take it to what you're working on, which has been really handy. The board in the back here from this desktop is hung on the wall with its own French cleats, so we can pick that up and move that to another place in the shop. And that came together really well. I think that looks really cool. The next design that I did in here was something to hold pliers. And I saw the designs that other folks had done, and there are some cool options online. This is kind of a combination of a few different ideas. Super simple project. I didn't video this. I've got some still pictures which I'll put on the video here towards the end, but as far as the build goes here, it's super simple. It's just pine, and then for these slots, these are pieces of Luan that I cut, and for the slots in here I did all this with a compound miter saw, and some of the photos will show how that was done. So did not need a table saw. And the other cool thing about these pieces is these can come out and you can rearrange it, so if you've got some larger tools, like for instance on the ends here, or if you want to make some bigger spaces in the center, it's easy to move that around. And that's pretty solid, not going anywhere, and I've got lots of room for extra tools down towards the end. Moving down the line, just for some screwdriver holders. Very simple, very easy. Just use some pine boards, cut some holes, drop the screwdrivers in, and we're good to go. For the wrenches, again, super simple. I've got a cleat on the top, and I did not put one on the bottom here, so just one on the top holds that pretty well. The reason these are green is because this first one I did, this is actually the first cleat project that I did, and that board was kind of banged up, it was kind of marked up. I had a can of green spray paint, Hunter Green, in my basement that had not been used, so we made that green. And then when we started moving on to the other projects or the other holders, I did one that was green, then another one that was green, and now I think that's going to be the theme. So these are probably all going to be green in here. I put this together yesterday for my little air compressor. I wanted to get it off the floor, and we had this wall section here with the cleats that I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with, and this kind of lent itself to this pretty well. And this is solid. This is not going anywhere. We're doubled up in the back. Use 3/4 inch plywood. 2x4s on the side for supports. And I really dig the way this works. And even with the air compressor on, this is really solid. It's just not going anywhere. I still need to make some mounts for the nailer. I want to do something to hold the cable hose right there, but we'll get to that down the line. For the first aid kit, the fire extinguisher, the little thermometer, super simple stuff. The first aid kit had little screw eyelets in the back here, so we just hung that on there, and that's just sitting there. The fire extinguisher, I put an extra little block down here so the whole thing can't rise up. If you need to grab the extinguisher and pop that off, this won't all come off at the same time. And the way that went on is because this was an end piece, we could just put that on the end here and slide it down. And I guess the last little thing that I was playing around with is this rolling chair, this old Explorer car seat. I made this several years ago. There's a video where I put this together, and it used to sit down on that base, that brown base, and it was used as a game chair in my basement. Since it wasn't being used much in there and we had the room and the space out here, I figured we'd bring it out and raise it up a little bit. So this is still a work in progress. I made the casters bigger and put on a bunch of 2x4s so I can actually raise this up and sit at the bench and use it as a bench chair. So it's kind of cool. We are moving along, making progress. All kinds of cool projects in the works. Got a lot more holders I need to make. I want to get these squares up, and the hammers, and the calipers, and a bunch of measuring equipment. Make a station or a base for some radio gear, and all kinds of neat stuff. And once we get a little more tidy on this end, then we'll start working our way around. This is where the miter station is going to be. Need to get some more OSB board and start enclosing these walls over there. And as mentioned in a prior video, we'll get some dust collection in the corner, and then maybe start moving the CNCs and the laser engravers from the basement out into here. And maybe a 3D printing station too. Haven't done the 3D printing stuff in a while, but I think it'd be cool to bring out here. Thanks for taking a look. I'll keep everybody posted on the progress here. Fun stuff.